So finally, the government has realized its folly and it has rolled back the retrospective tax amendments that were done in 2012. Let me remind you what happened then. At that time, the government of India had lost the Vodafone tax case in the Supreme Court, and therefore it was very unhappy with that loss. And therefore, in almost like a retributive move, it brought in a tax amendment which said that these kinds of transactions, the Vodafone kinds of indirect asset transfers will now be taxed retrospectively all the way back to 1962. For 50 years, we will go back and reopen cases. Everybody told the government this was a bad idea, please don't do it. But the government was adamant. Former Finance Minister Pranab Mukherjee then was completely adamant that he had to do this. And therefore, this resulted in a lot of criticism and a lot of very punitive action by the government's tax department. Anyway, in 2014, when the Modi government came in, it was widely expected that in the very first budget, then Finance Minister Arun Jaitley would roll this amendment back, would nullify it, but he did not. To everyone's surprise, he did not. And what is worse, the Modi government then went ahead and did another Vodafone, but this time on Cairn Energy. So a similar punitive action was done on Cairn Energy. For a restructuring that they had done way back in 2006-7, but the tax was imposed on them in 2014-15 when the government actually went beyond just the imposition of a tax. It actually forcibly acquired the 10% shareholding that Cairn Energy held in the company that they had sold to Vedanta, the company that was doing exploration in Barmer, that was sold to Vedanta. Cairn Energy had retained a 10% stake. The government of India impounded those shares, took them over, sold them in the market, and said they will recover the tax, even while the matter was under adjudication. They also, impounded their dividends. They also held back their tax refunds. So that the whole world was telling India that this was a wrong thing to do, don't do it. But the government of India went ahead. And this was then the Modi government which did that. So frankly, there is equal blame on the Manmohan Singh government and the Modi government for being so retributive in this retrospective tax cases of Vodafone and Cairn. Obviously, these two aggrieved companies went to the International Court of Arbitration. Both of them won stunning victories at the International Court of Arbitration, where it was held that India had acted wrongly, our tax laws were being wrongly used, and that these people deserved to get compensation. Even the India appointed arbitrator on the panel voted against India's case. Therefore, there was a unanimous verdict against India, and Cairn Energy, which was given $1.7 billion in refunds plus interest plus cost plus damages, moved to enforce this tax award that they were given. The fact that they could now get this refund from the government of India for the shares that were sold. The government of India continued to say that they will not compromise, that they have a sovereign right to tax, they will not agree, and they will not agree to refund, and they will fight till they win in the international court. Cairn Energy continued to win in several other forums. They won in Paris. They actually moved seizure orders against Indian assets. In Paris, they won an order for about 20 properties of the government of India, which could be then seized. They also said they would move against Air India because that's an instrumentality of the government. And they will seize Air India's planes. There was talk about seizing oil fields owned by government companies overseas. So clearly, the government of India was getting boxed into a corner on what was clearly seen all over the world as a very, very wrong move by the Indian government. Therefore, what has happened now, where the government of India has withdrawn that 2012 order to tax retrospectively, the government of India clearly was, as I said, in a corner. They feared seizures. They knew that what they had done was bad in law, and therefore they have tried to make the best of a very bad situation by withdrawing. It's welcome that they've withdrawn, but what still I think is a bit of a worry is the fact that they have said they will return only the principal amount of the tax that they took, that they will neither give costs, nor will they give damages, nor will they give interest. Now, I can understand you don't give costs and damages. I can understand that, but interest should be given, because if the government of India has taken my money and has held on to it 3-4 years back, even today, when the government of India loses a tax case, the taxpayer is given a refund along with interest. So why not have the same principle that would be applied? And the last point I want to make here is that I hope that there has been some back channel discussions with Ken and Vodafone, that they will accept this new law of the government. Because if they don't accept, and if you see the statement that has come from Ken, it's a very cryptic statement saying that we note what the government of India has done, the new law, we will assess it, etc., etc. But I hope that this has already been agreed, that this new law would be accepted by them, and that they will not go ahead in further litigation, that they will not reject this new law. Because if that were to happen and litigation was to continue, then the move that the government of India has made is likely to continue to fester and not solve the problem that it has sought to solve. So I can only hope that back channel diplomacy was done, an agreement was made, and that this matter will be put to sleep. Because if it's not, and arbitration continues and litigation continues, then not much purpose would have been served, at least in the Ken case. Of course, going forward, it's a very positive move. But I hope that it's done, and I just wish that the government of India had actually said, we will refund the tax that was impounded along with interest. That, I think, would have clearly settled the matter. But one can only hope that back channel deliberations have been done and the matter will be settled.